Today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into our next season of the show. We're not a news show, so why do we need to sit at a news desk? So we're going to be out in different cities all across the country exploring what makes this such a great place. We're going to be exploring the lifestyles, having power interviews, and just bringing a lot of great content so that people can really get something of substance from our media. To me, that's really what the American Dream is all about. The American Dream is coming at you with a whole new season and a whole new look. Let's get the show started right now.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about this show? It's totally unscripted. So you've heard my passion around the message of the American Dream, but how do you bring it to life? Well, what I did is I found the best producer with a background in real estate and lifestyle, Seth O'Byrne, to bring us the American Dream in a whole new way. Tell us what you're bringing now.
I'm hopefully bringing passion. You know, this is something we're really excited about. In America, the American Dream is not designed by your position in life, your wealth, where you're at currently. American Dream is something that someone can have when they're 8 or 80. It's starting at one point and deciding that you want something better for yourself. And so as much as the American Dream has combated negative media, we're gonna switch gears and now we're gonna talk about positive, inspiring stories. Stories that have compassion and love in them, and stories that have something that I think we can all relate to. And that's the hope for the show, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're not a news show, so why sit at a news desk? So we're out here today at a multi-million-dollar pad with a winery on the West Coast. The show is spanning all across the country. Today, you're gonna see a power interview from Grant Cardone. Did this in studio early this week. This guy illustrates the American Dream. 10,000 people at his event in Vegas. This guy's absolutely crushing it. We're also gonna showcase the lifestyle of a winery and a multi-million-dollar pad. And then we're gonna get into some local market elements where we're showing things that are happening in your own backyard. Well, let's get it started. We're gonna go check out that interview with Grant Cardone in studio. Let's go check it out. All right, for today's Power Player interview, there's nobody that better illustrates the American Dream than this guy, Grant Cardone, coming to us out of Miami. Good to see you, Grant. How are you, man?
Always good to see you, my friend. You bring me so much energy in my life. You remind me that a dream has to keep going and growing.
Yeah, well, we're growing to Miami soon, so what makes this show unique is we go city to city, and each city has its own little ecosystem, so we're coming to your town here soon enough, so we're going to be out in the field doing some stuff with you. Excited to launch there.
I can't wait to see you.
So let's talk about that thing called the American Dream. You've had quite the journey yourself. Right to your left there, you can see your new book, Investing in Real Estate. Tell us real quick about your journey for those who are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, look, I mean, I grew up like probably 99% of the people watching this is like lower middle class family. My dad worked hard. My mom took care of the family, 5 kids. And my dad died at a very young age for me. He was 52, I was 10 years old. And that left a big vacuum in the family. But my dad left me with a lot of things, you know, like the individual can die, but the things he leaves behind stays with the people around him. And he taught me work ethic. He taught me that I could have anything I wanted. He loved real estate. He was actually a stockbroker, but on the weekends he would shop real estate, which was fascinating to me because I'm like, why aren't you shopping? I mean, if you love stocks and that's what you do, why aren't you shopping stocks? But he shopped real estate because I think that that's organically something everybody understands is a good thing. And so for the past 30 years, starting in San Diego, by the way, I started buying real estate. And it's, of my 7 businesses, that's the one that will take care of me and my great-great-great-grandchildren. My great-great-great-grandchildren that have not been born yet, Craig, will probably be wealthy.
Yeah, well, the stockbrokers out there, we got to remind them that there's no stock that you can live in, and there's no stock that you can use other people's money to buy it with, like you can with real estate. So it's a great opportunity. What do you think about the real estate market now? I mean, we're spread across the country. In every city, we align the power players of real estate. We've trademarked that term, the best in every city. What do you think about the real estate market right now?
Well, let me just say this. Bank of America, okay, or Wells Fargo, right? They will lend you money to buy real estate, and they won't lend you money to buy their own stock.
Right.
So that should say it all right there. Go to Bank of America and say, I'd like to buy $1 million worth of Bank of America stock, and I want you to lend me money. And they'll be like, sir, please get up out of the chair, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll lend you money on real estate. So look, if you're trying to make money in real estate over the next 3 weeks or 3 months, or, you know, I think you're looking at it wrong. But the way we invest in it is for long periods of time. We buy multifamily income producing properties. I mean, what we do over here is not, we don't do single family homes because we want income. I want passive flows of income that Warren Buffett talked about. If you don't earn passive flows of income, you'll die trying to earn one income. So we're buying rental properties in markets like Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, anything in the southwest or southeast. San Diego, I think, is a great market. I just can't come there because you guys got too many other issues.
Real quick, Grant, so tell me about the book that you wrote, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate.
Yeah, this is my 8th book, Craig. This is by the way, this is a self-published book, okay? I have published books, but this is a self-published book with the biggest release by almost 8 times of any book that I've ever brought to market. So we shipped, I think, 38,000 copies in 21 days.
Wow.
And it's not in a bookstore. Those are massive numbers for a book this doesn't have a release. So it's about how people can get involved in the apartment game.
Well, you've done a lot with the entrepreneurial spirit. You're doing events. You do a lot on social media. If anyone visits you online, you have a lot of products you develop. But I know that your wheelhouse is this real estate game, which is a big message of the show. I hope that our audience will reach out to you, get your book, and definitely follow you on Instagram. You are one of my favorite guys to follow just because the energy you bring, you got your own show on there.
Anything could happen on Instagram, that's for sure.
Yeah, your wife throws you head kicks, or actually it was rib kicks, was it?
Yeah. She wants me to get in shape, so she thinks beating me up is the way to do that.
Love it, man. Well, we appreciate your story. Thanks for coming on The American Dream. I hope our audience reaches out for that book, and we'll talk to you again soon, Grant. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Craig.
All right. More of the show coming up next.
So you just saw Grant Cardone, who is the ultimate illustration of the American dream. What makes this show unique is it's a national television show, but we highlight local marketplaces and the experts in those markets to show you what's going on in your own backyard. You've had your fingerprints all over how these things are going to look.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. You know, and local real estate markets are really important because that's why you need a broker. You know, these areas are so unique, both in appreciation, why you buy, the lifestyles that we like to accentuate on the show. And so we'd like to show you one of our favorite realtors right now.
Yeah, it's a national show. What do we know about all the different cities the show's airing in? So let's go check out what's happening in your city.
Hey, this is Denton Aguam with the DARE Network, and I'm here in Dallas-Fort Worth today. I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about education in real estate, and we're going to go inside and check out this awesome Airstream with Place Street Museum and a very special guest that I have today. So let's go inside and check it out. Hi, this is Denton Aguam with the DARE Network, and today we're here with a very special guest, Anne-Marie Tennison. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
She's doing some great things here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Place Street Museum?
So Place Street Museum is a business where we bring play to children, especially with our Airstream model. We just launched about 6 months ago, and the Airstream travels. We travel around DFW. We also have storefronts in DFW as well that you can bring your children to. But in our Airstream that we're in now, we can travel to preschools, elementary schools, daycares, as well as other private events. but we basically are bringing play inside the Airstream and then outside. So it's just it's a new concept. It's something different, but we're really excited about it.
And this one's unique. I mean, we're literally on wheels.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere in DFW.
We can.
To any businesses.
Yeah.
And you bring education and play and keep them from looking on their iPhones.
Yeah, and not only schools, but we can go to private parties, events, business openings. We can go to wedding receptions, birthday parties. So anywhere with our children, we can go.
What would you say the goal is of Play Street?
Just to bring back play and creativity. Independent play for children is important, and just giving them the opportunity to explore and create a hands-on learning for the kids.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's go take a look.
Yeah, let's head on out.
Awesome. So we're outside now with Anne-Marie Tennison and your Airstream with Play Street Museum. So let's take a look and see what the kids are doing. Tell me what's kind of going on here.
Okay, so with every event that we go to, we have an outdoor area set up as well as an indoor area.
Okay.
Whether it's at an elementary school, a preschool, or private event, it pretty much looks the same. If it's in an elementary school, we have curriculum pieces like we talked about earlier that are brought out. But this is what it looks like. We have teepees that are set up. It's basically meant to look like a campsite. So we have a fire pit for the kids to build their own fire. We have teepees, and then an abundance of toys for them to be able to explore and enjoy.
Our mission with Play Street Museum on Wheels is to be able to bring play not only to education of children that are young in preschools and daycares, but also to bring the play, this atmosphere, all of the things that come with Play Street Museum on Wheels to their classrooms, to schools, for children not just below the age of kindergarten, but kindergarten through 5th grade.
It's been a great day in Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm sure you understand now how important school districts are when choosing your next home, as well as the mission of Play Street Museum. We'll see you next time. Back to the studio.
What we just saw was an incredible segment from a local agent professional. But what's cool right now is we're about to kick to a really cool segment in this property.
Yeah, I've hosted so many shoots so far for Lifestyles in the American Dream, but I've never seen a home like this before.
Isn't this the most amazing property you've ever seen?
I loved it, and driving up like the whole entire private driveway and up here, it's so exclusive.
Mm-hmm. It's, you know, it's set perfectly in the hillside, the winding roads, and it's like, I think about properties like this back when I first started in real estate, when it was so hard to get the big listings and the big properties with this much acreage. And it's really been a dream for me to not only list this property, but to get so much great feedback from people just viewing the property, because it's amazing. I mean, it's the grounds of this place are like nothing I've ever seen before.
That's what I saw the home. I'm obsessed with the home. I mean, it's this beautiful custom built.
Custom built in 2008, actually.
Oh, wow, that's really new.
Isn't it? It's so new.
Yeah.
The sellers actually built it from the ground up. I mean, so much like blood, sweat, and tears went into this home. It looks like it could be placed right in Tuscany, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
like
perfect
Spanish
with the wine we had earlier.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to tell people we're having wine this early in the day?
No. 5 o'clock somewhere all the time, so.
Well, I love it, and I love the outside grounds of this area. Like, I don't even know if I would want to be inside.
When you live at the property, your lifestyle here is exterior. It's all exterior. The inside is an added bonus, but I mean, you've got so many different types of fruit trees on this property. You've got a winery that's just down the hill here and surrounds the property, a creek, a pond. I mean, the endless nights of sunsets that you can watch on this property is ridiculous.
Oh, it's amazing. I can imagine that this is like the perfect property for entertaining guests, family get-togethers, things like, I mean, that's like what I imagine when I picture myself living here.
It's kind of the dream. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to spend a lot of time with the sellers on this property and really talk to them about what makes this property so special, aside from the custom build. I mean, the wildlife that they sit and watch. The wife, you know, tends to her garden out back. I mean, with tons and tons of acreage on this property, your options to do multiple things on the actual land is endless. I mean, you really could do anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's an active beehive down there where the bees come and go from the koi pond out front. You've got the pool out back that just the vanishing edge with virtually nothing in the distance.
No. And it's a really nice mixture between, like, the backyard's totally done. It's, you know, the backyard, the kitchen outside, the vanishing edge pool. So it seems like it could be track style home and things like that, but it's not, because then it's like you have a whole entire another realm of this. Like, this is an onion of a house. It has multiple layers.
You just get peel back the layers, but you're 100% right. It's like an onion, really.
Yes.
You know, and you can always tell with houses like this, which is why this particular home is so near and dear to my heart, because you can tell the pride in ownership that the sellers have really put into this house with just maintaining and the landscaping that they've put in, and every little nook and cranny of this home and this property was thought of. I mean, they have dogs and they've fenced the entire 9 acres of property in, you know, and it's just the little things that when a buyer comes into this home, they want to know that everything's secure and that their pets are going to be okay.
Yes.
And if they have grandchildren coming to run around, that it's going to all be okay. So everything was really, really thought of. I mean, it's definitely a special property.
Yes. You know? Well, and I'm just imagining, you know, the caliber of buyer that's going to buy this property is going to love that they can come and shut themselves off from the hustle and the bustle and the busy life that we all live each day, and have their own private oasis, their own private estate here.
Absolutely.
In the hills of California. It's wonderful.
It's the most peaceful property you could ever imagine. It's like you're coming home and you're coming up to your own resort with nobody around, with the sunset, and you put the music on and you just go pick fruit off your fruit trees to make a margarita by the pool. I mean, it's everything at your fingertips, literally, but you're in the middle of nowhere, which is amazing.
In the middle of nowhere, so convenient because you are still close to town. Still get there somewhat fast, but
right.
Shut everything off. Enjoy your time with your family.
Yes, and I will say, if you are a drinker, the winery and the vineyard on this property produces over 2,000 pounds of wine, which is about 50 cases per year.
Oh my gosh.
Of award-winning wine. And
do you have any of that award-winning wine here?
We do. I think we should go open a bottle and go back by the pool and have a little sip of wine.
I'm saying, it's warm out here. Let's go get some wine. Let's go enjoy the pool.
There's so many people that have dreamed of owning a California winery,
And
or
with Molly and Mia.
in a winery,
In a
with 3 vineyards and bottles of wine.
Yes, that is kind of your American dream.
It's a very specific American dream, but yeah, it was cool to actually see it, and I think it was great that we got to take people inside.
All right, so coming up next, what you don't know is I've been traveling all across the country, meeting the best realtors in every city to make sure when we talk about your backyard, you're hearing from someone who's actually in the trenches, in the top 1% nationally, but experiencing what you have going on in your city. Next realtor piece.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Hello, this is Noe with Identity House Real Estate. We have a special guest today. We have registered interior designer Lauren Dickson with LDI Studio. Now, she's a very dear friend of mine, and I asked her to join us today so she could share some of her work. We are at 11032 Rosser Road. Lauren, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us a little bit about LDI Studio and the work that you do.
At LDI Studio, we work on all types of projects. Everything from a one-room makeover to a kitchen remodel to a full new build from the ground up.
Awesome. Well, I know you do some really cool projects. We've done a couple of projects ourselves. My clients absolutely love you. That's one of the reasons why we invited you to be a part of this particular project. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to do the things that you did.
The number one inspiration I had was it had to be sellable and it had to really have a lot of wow factors to it. So in order to appeal to that many people, I wanted to keep it modern and fresh, but also timeless.
Well, and I actually think you achieved that. So congratulations on that. So let's go ahead and take a look throughout the house and see some of the special features. So we're obviously in the kitchen, and it looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you. That is the exact reaction I was hoping for. It really was. So when we first started this project, I found these slabs and I fell in love with them. And the house was really built around that. These are a Calcutta fusion, meaning they're quartzite and marble, honed on the counters, polished on the backsplash, book matched. We really wanted to add the commercial appliances. We did the built-in refrigerator, we have the microwave and warming drawer built in here. Plenty of space for not only prep work, but plenty of space to actually cook for a family.
So I noticed here, and I know that a lot of the people in the audience, they're looking and they're going, wait a minute, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of cabinet space.
There's not, so to speak. So in the beginning, you may think that. So with the additional space that we had, we went ahead and added a very large, sort of a surprise pantry. Noe, art is such a huge part of every project, and I'm so impressed with the art in this house.
Well, thank you so much for that. So I have a really good friend that's a fellow veteran that turned artist, and he decided to be a part of the project and loaned us all his artwork.
Wow.
So you should check him out on Instagram at David Gale Smith. He's always uploading all new work.
With the master bathroom design, I really wanted to keep this very modern, very clean, but still very warm. I want to give a huge thanks to my favorite custom floral designer from Botanical Mix. They created all of these beautiful custom pieces specifically for this house and specifically for this design.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for coming. You did a great job, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was a lot of hard work, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. But I have more projects to get to, and you need to get this sold.
That's right. I need to get it sold. Back to you at the studio.
Okay, this week, what I want to talk to you about is investment properties and how to evaluate them. This is a great time of year if you're an investor and you own anywhere between 2 and 10 properties, single family properties between 1 and 4 units per property. This is a good time to look at the IRR, the internal rate of return on each of those properties, and the equity you have in those properties. Remember, we've been in a bull market for a long time. Some of those properties, if you evaluate them every year, you may find that the equity, the capital gains on those, are much better than you're getting in the cash flow, the monthly income. And so you want to evaluate each property and see which one you may want to sell and use to go get a multifamily or another property that can get you more cash flow, or which ones are your best buy and hold properties. Buy and hold properties in our market, at least, are best under $2,500 a month. Once you get above that, the market starts to shrink a little bit. You're going to have more vacancy on those. So evaluate those annually. This is a great time of year to do it. Get with your financial advisor, or if you want to, reach out to us, the website below, and we'll make sure to get you an analysis and tools that you can use to evaluate those on your own. And of course, we'll have a consultation with you if needed. That's your Mortgage Minute. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, Zach Sams here with Kensington Vanguard, National Title of Texas. I hope you're doing well. I want to continue the conversation around the housing economy in Texas because I keep hearing people say things that aren't true or using words that should not be used. I'm hearing words like downturn, the bottom's falling out, we're headed for a recession. These things are simply not true. And I want to turn your attention to a new report that just came out from the Texas A&M Real Estate Station that really says the opposite of what you might be hearing in the marketplace. So, for instance, through July 2018, Texas hit a record of homes sold through the first 7 months of 2018. Now look at these graphs and I'll tell you why this makes sense and what we're seeing. So the first graph you're going to see is regarding housing activity. And housing activity is higher than we've seen in a long time and is continuing to move up. The next graph you're going to look at is construction permits. They pull permits before they can start construction on a home. Permits are continuing on the rise. The next graph you're seeing is housing starts. This is after the permit and once they've started construction. Those are continuing to trend upwards. The last graph you're seeing is the price index, where Texas is continuing to appreciate in its real estate. Your homes are continuing to appreciate. What I think people are misconstruing in the market is the reason we had such high demand and the reason homes were under multiple offer situations and prices were increasing dramatically is because after the recession, housing starts or construction of new homes had virtually stopped. So once the economy started turning in the right direction, it took a while for the new construction of homes to catch up with the influx of people that were moving into Texas. We've now reached a point where new construction is starting to keep up with the demand better, and we're seeing some prices start to stabilize, which is a good thing. I think stabilize is a positive word, and the market stabilizing is good for everyone. I hope this shines some better light on what our market looks like, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks.
So that's close the show. What should we do, man? Should we be like casual or should we be pumped up?
I think we should be both casual and pumped up.
All right. Well, we just finished the big show. What you learned today is the American dream is a mindset, not a circumstance. And as far as our show, it's raw, it's real, it's authentic. We're not owned by a network. We're commercial free. We're unscripted. We just brought the best producer in the space to the game.
I think we did great, man. I mean, the American dream is incredible, and I think it was Thomas Jefferson or it was kind of